Welcome to Ball Acolytes to a fresh recap of news about the development of Catechesis. We're excited to begin introducing some of the elements we're working on for this project. From now on, these videos will also serve to introduce new characters and highlight some of the mechanics we've incorporated. And today, we have cause for celebration. It's the 5th anniversary of the release of Yuppie Psycho. Stick around until the end for a delightful surprise in honor of this special date. Development. Let's dive into the progress of the game. As we mentioned in previous updates, Catechesis revisits some of the core ideas from our initial project, which we had previously abandoned. However, this time, we're committed to enhancing and revitalizing the storyline. Drawing from our experience with our last 2 games, we've completed an extensive pre-production phase where we redesigned the main characters, refined the scenarios, and reworked the script. Currently, we're in full production mode, translating that script into a detailed design. Our immediate goal is to create a playable version from start to finish. This initial draft may be rough, filled with temporary patches, but it allows us to gain a comprehensive view of the project and avoid any surprises or setbacks down the road. During the planning process, we break down the story into chapters, and each chapter is further divided into specific tasks. Here are some of those tasks. Story. We're developing a more or less definitive version of the narrative, including character dialogues and sequence descriptions for each chapter, which will be categorized and seamlessly incorporated into the game. Design. From mapping out the levels to determining the types of enemies and encounters, as well as creating puzzles specific to each chapter, we're striving to find a suitable rhythm for the player. Art. Once the story and design of a chapter have been completed, the necessary sprites are broken down. This includes their variations and animations, ensuring that everything is available for further adjustments. Music. While we all enjoy Mike Garode Kelly's music, it's essential to recognize that incorporating it into a game is no easy task. First, draw inspiration from the story, art, and preliminary design to understand the chapter's tone and production requirements. After composing the music, it becomes necessary to incorporate and separate themes, distinguishing specific moments. Creating loops that match the time the player spends on corresponding tasks is crucial. Programming. Our programmer develops tools specific to each scene that helps us include new stuff like traps, visual effects, or new enemies not yet implemented in the engine. Scripting. With the recipe and ingredients ready, it's time to cook. This staging phase involves incorporating all the elements broken down in the previous categories according to the design. It's the first time the pieces come together, allowing us to play and test the experience. This phase reveals unexpected problems or difficulties, but also sparks the best ideas for improving the game. 6 tasks across no fewer than 11 chapters highlight the considerable size of this game compared to the previous ones. Once we complete this initial planning, we'll have a game to test from start to finish. From there, a second phase of polishing and testing will begin to offer the best possible experience. And you might be wondering, how is the development progressing? Of the 11 chapters currently comprising Catechesis, development has commenced on the 6th, while the story of the 7th is undergoing final review and approval. The game is progressing favorably and according to our planned schedule. Have a little patience and stay tuned, because there will be more news in the future and with greater participation on your part. Characters. If you were familiar with the initial Catechesis project, you'll likely recall that the story revolved around young Daniel visiting his friend Sophie and having dinner with her parents. Now, Sophie remains a central character and one of the co-stars accompanying Daniel on his adventure. Unlike in the original project, where Sophie was merely a kidnapped victim of the Tabalist cult, she now plays a much more active and prominent role as Daniel's confidant and best friend. This new Sophie is less naive and adorable than her previous incarnation. She comes across as mischievous, always getting into trouble and brimming with wild ideas. A tad silly and overly concerned with popularity, but with a good heart at her core. Sophie's parents, the Kelly family, are old acquaintances of Daniel's. They frequently attend the Tabalist church and actively participate in the community. Sophie also has a baby sister named Emily. As in the original adventure, the first dungeon of the game involves a tour of the Kelly house. Invited by Sophie, Daniel will witness a confusing dinner that soon turns into a terrifying night as he wanders through the various rooms of the house. This will be the player's first contact with what awaits him, and the familiarity and everyday feel of the setting is a good starting point to begin to turn Daniel's world upside down. Mechanics. As we've previously mentioned, one of the most significant innovations in Catechesis compared to our previous works is the combat system. It's the reason why we abandoned the initial project, and also why we're revisiting it now with a more experienced and confident team. Currently, combat is in its early stages, but shows promise. Let's share a glimpse of our approach and gather your opinions, bearing in mind that it's still part of a prototype. If you played games like Nuclear Throne or Enter the Gungeon, you're already familiar with twin-stick-based combat. However, the uniqueness that Catechesis aims to offer lies in a less frenetic and dominant style, favoring a more deliberate and cautious tone. Our proposal is twofold. For veteran players, taking calculated risks, dodging, and aiming accurately is key. Meanwhile, less combat-savvy players can advance cautiously, tackling enemies one at a time and leveraging the environment to gain advantages. Now let's introduce one of the game's most fearsome foes, Komi. They'll likely remind you of the classic slimes commonly found in video games. To aim, we need both sticks. Aiming requires a little time to fine-tune the shot because if we move too much, the trajectory of the projectiles becomes scattered. If an enemy seeks to attack us, we have the option to dodge by rolling on the ground at the last moment. This maneuver can also put us in an advantageous situation for a counterattack. Of course, dodging is not as easy as simply hitting a button. We have a stamina bar that we must keep an eye on to prevent Daniel from getting tired and walking more slowly as he catches his breath. If this seems too complicated for you, don't worry. You'll have RPG progression and various power-ups to customize your gameplay experience according to the combat style that suits you best. But we'll discuss that in the next video, so stay tuned. Latest news. At the outset, we mentioned that it's our 5th anniversary of Yuppie Psycho, and we have some exciting updates to share. 1. Mobile release. Last January, Yuppie Psycho made its debut on iPhone and Android, courtesy of the Crunchyroll gaming platform. Now you can relive Brian's adventures right from your pocket. 2. New translation. We've also added a fresh Polish translation for Yuppie Psycho. 3. Discord enhancements. If you're a regular on our Discord, you'll notice new icons and stickers. If you haven't joined yet, what are you waiting for? It's the place to find exclusive development information ahead of everyone else. 4. After many requests, Makeship will be re-releasing a limited run of Brian's plushies on July 8th. Stay tuned. 5. A gift for you. As a token of our appreciation, enjoy a celebratory video from Vision. Here it is. We understand that waiting can be agonizing, But rest assured, we're dedicating every moment to crafting the best experience for you. Catechesis has always been our dream project, and we're eager to share it with you as soon as possible. In the meantime, spread the word about Catechesis to more people, and encourage your friends and family to add us to their stream wish lists. See you in the next devlog, where we'll introduce more characters, delve into mechanics, and share further news. Amen to Ball.